I'm Robin Beachy, 20 Willow Glen, representing the Willow Glen Condominium Association. I've obviously got to be very quick. We've made a formal objection. It's in your papers, and there's no point in repeating that here today. Just to make the point that the objection is based on inadequate parking, hazardous traffic conditions, and the risks inherent in allowing something like this, and how do you then control it or limit it or restrict it once it's granted permission. You've seen already this evening some of the difficulties that seem to have occurred in another case. I'm out of time, I think.
Time has expired.
Mayor, can we waive our rules and allow another 2 minutes?
Yes, I think we could.
Well, I don't think I need another 2 minutes. We welcome the line that the staff have taken about aggregating the uses and not calculating the parking requirement solely on the size of the small sanctuary that is proposed. We don't think, however, the staff have given adequate considerations for traffic hazards in their report, that more ought to be made at this point. So that's really all I think that I need to say this evening, except that we would have preferred to have seen the application turned down by the Planning Commission at its meeting. It wasn't. They suggested a deferral. We don't see how any parking study is going to resolve what is an impossible parking situation. How the existing office building was ever given permission with such limited parking seems now in retrospect to be amazing. And we don't see how any parking study is going to help to make an impossible situation possible. So we didn't get it turned down. I don't suppose you will turn it down tonight. You will defer it, but I hope you'll bear these points in mind when it comes back to you next time.
Thank you very much, sir. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak on this? Come right ahead.
Sheila O'Shea.
My name is Sheila O'Shea. I'm a resident of Round Hill Condominiums at 5400 Boswell Road, which is across the street from the location in question. Mr. Galloway insists that the parking will be adequate for the space designated as a sanctuary, and the classroom space, according to the ordinance, should not be counted in order to be fair. What Mr. Galloway neglects to mention is that the classes in question are not an adjunct to the practice of Scientology. They are the practice of Scientology. The Church of Scientology should not be permitted to have its cake and eat its too. If Scientology could claim that these classes are religious expression to the point that the money paid for these courses is tax deductible, then clearly the sanctuary space is far larger than the space designated, and any study on parking should reflect that. Further, given that parking is such a crucial matter, and as a nearby homeowner I assure you I have no interest in hosting any overflow, I would add that reducing the number of parking spaces to build a small sanctuary that is the perfect size for remaining spaces is not an optimal solution and will render the building useless for any further use. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak to this or against it? Mr. Galloway, do you wish to speak again?
Yes, ma'am. I'll be brief because of the request for a deferral, but I do want to address a few of these points. One point that was raised was why should the parking be calculated based on the size of the largest assembly area? That's because that's what the ordinance states. All of the use of this facility is as a church. It's not as an office and then as classrooms and then as an assembly area. It's all as a church. And y'all go to churches, you know how integrated the uses are. There's no other church in this town or the city that's required to park classrooms and their sanctuary and their offices all at the same time. That's what's being requested here by the staff. Now, staff has said that in this case, they want to see a parking analysis because the Church of Scientology does operate somewhat differently than a traditional Christian church does. That's not to say that it doesn't operate the way a church does. They have their classroom facilities, just like my church has its Sunday school facilities, and other churches have their meeting room facilities. Operates in the same manner. That manner of operation also addresses the fact that there is a spreading out of the traffic, a spreading out of the need for parking throughout the day, because they offer classes throughout the day, 7 days a week. And so, because of that fact, they don't have a mass need for parking that some other churches do have.